Hello and welcome to Dr. Aidan's Guide to Literature. In this brief video we'll look at the 10 most important quotes in Animal Farm, which will be of help when you're preparing for assignments, tests and examinations. Quote 1. At the beginning of this book we hear that Major, an old and respected pig, wants to share his dream of a better future with the other animals. He says that the animals live in misery because man is the only real enemy we have. Remove man from the scene, and the root cause of hunger and overwork is abolished forever. Now, Animal Farm is an allegory, and the idea is that if we could replace capitalism, represented by man, and organise society differently, then exploitation would disappear forever. Question is, what do you think about that proposition? Quote 2. Old Major dreams of a utopian or ideal society, and he ends his speech with an appeal. Above all, no animal must ever tyrannise over his own kind. No animal must ever kill any other animal. All animals are equal. Now this prompts a few questions. Why, if man is the only enemy, is Old Major warning the animals not to tyrannise each other? And if man is the only enemy, why would one animal want to kill another animal? And look at the last claim. All animals are equal. It's very vague. What does it mean exactly? Is it true? In what sense? Quote 3. Shortly after this, Old Major dies, but his dream of a farm run by the animals motivates three of the pigs, Napoleon, Snowball and Squealer, to develop Old Major's teachings into a complete system of thought, to which they gave the name animalism. Now this was a natural development, we're told, because the pigs were generally regarded as the cleverest of the animals, and this immediately alerts us to the fact that the animals are not equal. Otherwise the pigs wouldn't be referred to as the cleverest, and they wouldn't be the ones to invent animalism. Quote 4. But what this development means is that when Farmer Jones neglects to feed the animals and they drive him from the farm, there is a system ready to implement. And it's at this point that the pigs now revealed that during the past 3 months they had taught themselves to read and write. Now, note the word revealed here. Their learning has been going on for 3 months, but only now are they telling the other animals. This suggests that they are secretive, and it further heightens the sense of inequality between the animals. And the ability to read and write will give the pigs a significant advantage. Quote 5. This learning gap becomes apparent when the pigs announce 7 commandments to live by. Now, there are 2 important ideas here. One is the idea of commandments. God issues commandments, divine rules that must be obeyed. So it could be argued that the pigs are effectively playing God here. Remember, the pigs created animalism and the commandments. Second, if you can't read, and most of the animals cannot read, then all you can do is to try and memorise what is spoken to you. And as we will see, memory is not reliable. After all, when you're looking at that page now, what did those commandments say? Quote 6. Another indication of the pigs thinking of themselves as superior comes when they excuse reserving the milk and apples for their own use, arguing that we pigs are brain workers. The whole management and organisation of this farm depends on us. It is for your sake that we drink the milk and eat those apples. In fact, they say they don't even like milk and apples. They eat them solely to stay healthy and so that they can run the farm in a way that stops Jones coming back. Now, this is a major turning point in the story because until now, the focus has been on sharing resources. Now the pigs have established that their needs are greater than the community at large, and equality is further undermined. Quote 7. The next major step is that Napoleon has been training the dogs, again in secret, and he uses them to drive his main rival Snowball from the farm. And once he's gone, Snowball then gets blamed for any misfortune. For example, do you know the enemy who's come in the night and overthrown our windmill? "Snowball," says Napoleon. And Napoleon then broadens his attacks, suggesting that Snowball now has spies on the farm. Quote 8, "And shortly after that we hear that the 4 pigs, 3 hens, a goose and 3 sheep confess to being Snowball's agents and are killed, and then even more confess. In fact, the tale of confessions and executions went on until there was a pile of corpses lying before Napoleon's feet." Now Napoleon has employed violence, murder and fear to silence any animal that might dare to contradict anything he says. He even effectively has Boxer murdered, the animal who represents the true committed animalist/communist. When Boxer collapses through hard work, Napoleon says he's going to send him to the hospital, but actually sends him to the knacker's yard to be killed and boiled down for glue. Quote 9, "And then the animals see an astonishing sight, Squealer walking on his hind legs. Then came the other pigs, and finally out came Napoleon himself, majestically upright, casting haughty glances from side to side. Napoleon has now become what old Major warned against, and he has rewritten all of the commandments he helped to write. Now he walks on 2 legs, he wears clothes, he sleeps in a bed, he drinks alcohol, he kills other animals, and he's a tyrant." Quote 10. So it is no surprise that when the animals go into the barn at the end of the story, only a single commandment remains, and this has been rewritten. All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. Now nothing means what they thought it meant. All of the commandments have been rewritten or ignored, and all of the unwritten rules have been dismissed as Snowball's fantasies. In the final analysis, this book warns us about the dangers of leaving others to rule over us without holding them to account. Why? Because the power-hungry will take advantage of the good-hearted, and exploitation will just return in a slightly different guise. So I hope this brief video has given you an insight into some of the main ideas in Animal Farm, and that it will be useful to you when reading the book or revising for exams. Give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe now so that you never miss any of my future posts.